All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Chamber Chat. I have another special guest in the car today. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and we will kick it off from there.
Hi, my name is Nathan Mart. I'm the Executive Director at Home Life, Inc.
So, for those people, the dozens of people who watch our Chamber Chats,
yes.
Tell us a little bit about Home Life. What's that all about?
Yeah, so Home Life is an organization that supports individuals with disabilities. Right. So we have basically 3 levels of services. So we have a residential level of services. So we currently have 8 residential homes. We're going down to 7 residential homes, and we support about 25 individuals with disabilities in the residential setting. So they may not be independent enough to live on their own, so they need sort of that support, and so we provide that. So we have 7 homes located throughout Corvallis. We also have supported living, which is, you can think of it as someone is not needing 24-hour care. They may live in their own place, they may live in their own with their parents or with a SO or somebody, significant other, and then we just come in for a few hours to help and support. And then we also have vocational services, so vocational, getting people back to work, right? So people with disabilities in the workforce, inclusive, trying to do all that. So those are basically the 3 levels of care that we have. And we also have rentals. So we have 13 rentals that are for individuals with low income, affordable housing that meet that 50% threshold in the city of Corvallis. And those are full too. And those are usually individuals that may be collecting SSI, Social Security income, or Social Security disability income. So, and then next year we celebrate our 50th anniversary.
Oh, so congratulations.
November 27th, 2022 is 50 years right here in Corvallis.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So when you talk about folks with disabilities, is that across the whole spectrum? Is there?
Exactly.
Do you tend to see more or less of different types, or how's that work?
I mean, it's across the board, right?
Sure.
And so, so disabilities across the board. Some are more, would say severe than others, and so, and so it's a wide variety. So the residential, individuals, people living in residential are just going to need that extra support. In supported living, I mean, you see individuals walking around, you wouldn't even know they had a disability,
right.
But they just need that extra support. So, so we provide that.
So some may be age related, some may be, actually, like I have a daughter on the spectrum, so there may be that type of disability.
Exactly.
It's all over.
It's across the board, and one of the things that we're dealing with, just as a topic, is elderly disabled. So people who are living longer than they probably may have in the past, just because of science and health and everything. Sure. And so just as anybody gets older, there's difficulties with getting older, and especially with individuals with disabilities, that's even tougher. And so at Home Life, we're dealing with that. We have somebody that's like 82 right now. We have a house full of people in their late 70s and early 80s. We have six people in there.
Wow. So when you talk, you have the 7 units. Is that group, like a group home, or just okay? Yeah,
24-hour group home. Like the individuals I just mentioned, they've lived in that house for probably close to 30 years together. Our Mumford house, and it's just so cool because everybody in the disability community, like these people, all of our individuals have known each other since like
they're almost like a family, right?
Right. And so parents know parents, teachers know parents knows teachers, and it's just a really like bonded community when it comes around supporting people with disabilities.
So obviously, with exactly like you said, people getting older and people with different intellectual disabilities. I mean, you guys are doing a fantastic job helping as many as you can, but there's never enough, right? So, I mean, how does that screening process work? How does that, I mean, that's tough.
Yeah, so it's a Oregon needs assessment, and so that's done through the county and state collaboration, and so it's based on that needs assessment is where someone's placed at a level.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're not selecting them, so you individually, or your Home Life.
Yeah, so our individuals come like by way of Benton County.
Right.
So we work with like Jasper Smith, who's and we work with a lot of other people in Benton County, and so it's kind of a collaborative effort. So if someone like needs a referral to live in a group home, then we would look at that collectively, and we would determine, is that a good fit? Is that the best place for that individual, for the individuals that they're moving in with?
Right.
Yeah, it's the whole process.
So if I'm watching this and I know somebody who perhaps who doesn't know about this program, how do they get, I guess, started in it?
Yeah, so they would just contact Benton County. Okay. And they have service coordinators, and that's how the process gets started. So it's a reach out to Benton County, and then someone might say, hey, I want to explore services through Home Life, whether it's supported living or residential, and then that starts the process, and then we'll go and work collaboratively through that.
So with the services you provide, you've got to have, I mean, as with any sort of in this category of work, you got to have some amazing staff.
Oh, our staff is the best. And so direct support professionals, they're the ones that are on the ground.
Yeah.
Like they're working they're covering shift after shift, and working knock shifts and then going into the morning shift.
Yeah.
And with the mandate that came out, it's good that our individuals are healthy and safe and our environment's safe, but it hurt us a little bit as far as the number of staff we have.
Yeah.
I just can't say enough about our staff. They're the ones that are really, they're the heart and soul of our organization. If we didn't have them, we wouldn't be.
Well, we obviously, the whole world knows about, caring for people and that industry, the healthcare workers and those sorts of, and you fall, I don't say loosely in a bad way, but you fall into that category,
Absolutely,
right?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's this last year and a half's got to put a strain on you guys. How's that all going?
It's been interesting.
Badly.
So, I started sort of I started in December of last year, and so that's when COVID was happening before that, but it was still around. And so then we had that sort of time where it was like getting back to normal, like in April,
there's hope.
May, June, right?
And we're gonna take that.
And then
away.
we loosened some things, then we restricted some things back. But it's been hard. Luckily, we haven't had. We've had some individuals, like some workers who have been sick, but we've kept our individuals safe. It's just all about hand washing, social distancing. We have all the information up in our houses about keeping safe and covering our coughs. I mean, that's sort of the main thing. But yeah.
Well, and obviously you're dealing with probably some of the most vulnerable people in society, right?
Exactly.
So that's going to make it tough as well. How about the office side?
Yeah.
How's that all working? You got a small staff, big staff?
Yeah.
Never big enough staff, right?
Well, never big enough.
Right.
But altogether at Home Life, we have about 101 positions, and that's down from 130 in February.
Ooh.
So, and that's not with like a diminished workload either. That's like a same workload with that many people. But our admin office is great. We've had a couple changes in leadership, me being one of them. We've had a couple others, but they're super supportive. Everyone is about the mission. It's empowering people. It's about, that's really what the mission is, right? And so,
sure.
Our admin office is wonderful, energetic, and we're just like determined to sort of like see what the next 50 years hold. That's really our goal is.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've been here for 50 years, and now we want to continue that, right? And so
when you think about how, you mentioned the 50 years. I mean, if you take it back, take it back half of that. Take it back 25 years, and the way mental health has changed, and the way how the folks that you serve today, how things might have been different back then, right? Yeah. And you get to see, we're trying not to crash here. Yeah. We're trying to, do you find, obviously it's more supportive, more understanding, is the resources better or more abundant, or
well,
I don't know how to...
Resources have always been an issue. So our funding comes from the state, right? And so we get paid per individual per day based on those assessments. And so I just lost my train of thought. Sorry.
No, it's cool. No, I'm just like from a financial standpoint. How do you make it work? I mean, it's
hard.
There's never enough money for organizations like you guys who do the work you do.
And then also in the legislature. So next year, 2022, July of 2022, it's going to be ODDS is going to be fully funding for the first time in like a long time. So fully funded, which means we can support, which means we're getting like $1 per dollar per service, not like 70 cents on the dollar, which is what we probably were getting in the past, right? Yeah, and so it takes a little bit longer for the state to catch up, but we're thankful for it. I mean, we're thankful for it.
Can people, obviously, there's lots of screening, lots of stuff that you guys have to do, but can people become involved as volunteers? How do regular people on the street help you?
Yeah, so right now volunteering is kind of tough just with COVID and so most of our individuals are starting to get out a little bit, but our volunteer would really come through major events. And so, we have a 50th anniversary like I talked about, so we're doing we have a couple events coming up. So if people want to like volunteer, they say, hey, I want to be part of a fundraiser. I want to be just a body there. Right. They can just contact Home Life's main 541-753-9015.
Oh, there you go. You got that. My phone just went off as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. You guys are located obviously on Fillmore.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, is that your sole location in terms of admin stuff?
Yeah, that's our admin office, and then all of our 7 homes are within the Corvallis.
Just in the Corvallis area?
Yeah, and all of our rentals are within the Corvallis area as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Has it always been like that? Always been in Corvallis?
I believe so. Yeah, I mean, from what I know, yeah, it's always been in Corvallis. Like we have some vocational services that are in Lynn County with Albany and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
but other than that, it's all Corvallis.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And I was actually I knew I did some research obviously,
Yeah.
but I didn't know about the rental side.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's affordable housing, being able to afford rent. I mean, in this
In
day and
Corvallis.
age, in Corvallis, right?
Anywhere in Benton County.
I mean, and so that's what our goal is, right? Is we want to reduce barriers, and so the rental is a really neat thing to do because it provides people a safe place.
Yeah.
They can afford the rent, and they can start focusing on things they need to focus on versus just day-to-day living. Like, how do I survive, or how do I,
Sure.
you know,
So
can I afford rent?
weird question, and I think I sort of know the answer. How do you know when you're done? I mean, you're not, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
you never will be.
Yeah,
right.
It's constant improvement, I think.
So it's like year by year, where do you set that
Yeah.
benchmark? Where do you, as a leading the organization,
Yeah.
where do you say, okay, good year?
Yep.
Versus like, nope, there's still people to help. I mean, obviously there's
Sure.
you
Well, I'm
know.
still learning that part of it.
Sure.
So I'm about 10 months in, but I can tell you next year we'll have a real sort of parameter of success. So next year we're going to fundraise to build a new residential home to support 3 to 5 individuals, and we're also
Excellent.
We're also fundraising through 2022 to build a new 4-plex, so 4 apartments for
Okay.
affordable housing. So
How are you fundraising that?
We're just starting. So this year we're starting
okay.
an appeal letter. So the appeal letter will go out beginning of December, and that will be sort of the soft opening of what we want to do throughout 2022.
Okay.
And so 2022 is going to be fundraising. It's going to be collecting funds. You talked about being able to be
How people can help,
how we get financed.
Yeah.
Donations is a big part of that,
Sure,
right? And so if we've been years and years getting paid 70 cents on the dollar, how many years is that aggregate,
kidding.
right?
No kidding. Have you got a place picked out yet, or at least obviously in Corvallis? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's going to be in Corvallis, and literally our board just approved the fundraising efforts last meeting, so last month. So we are.
You're shopping for space now.
Yeah, we are. Yes, if people want to have space available to build a home, reach out to us.
That's
we
cool.
will gladly look into it.
That's for sure.
When we have individuals with our homes are so. Some of our homes are so old that they're refurbished duplexes or something like that they're not really the ideal space for someone, say, in a motorized wheelchair or
Yeah, exactly.
or 2 or 3 individuals in a wheelchair. In a home like that.
we see that a lot, especially with businesses downtown. They've been, perhaps they have new tenants coming in, and because they're updating, and that's the weird thing for me to try and get my head around. If you're already in that building, you don't necessarily have to make those updates, right? But if suddenly now you're new, there's an opportunity, and it's the right thing to do. You should be making updates so we can accommodate everybody.
Well, and I think that's the way sort of home life, or maybe any other sort of industry that works like this is you buy your home and then you remodel it to suit sort of what's up. And so my mindset is for us to build a home that's centered around the individual, right? Instead of having the individual fit the home.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the goal.
Is the idea that the individual, obviously you can't tell the future, is that they live the rest of their life in it?
Oh, yeah, that's our goal.
It is? Okay.
I mean, that's our idea. That's what we think about when we're thinking about long-term houses. Like, we plan on this individual. I mean, they can choose, obviously.
Oh, yeah, sure. But it's not transitional housing.
Exactly. Nope.
You're in it. It's your house.
And that's why we need to make them, and that's why we need the funding to be able to make them ideal for when, so-and-so is 22 now, but what happens when she's 38?
Yeah.
And what does our house look like then? What does our services look like then?
Man, that's a lot to think of.
It's heavy.
Mine is just other things like that. What if they end up having kids, or if they, there's that to throw in as well.
Well, and you also have the family aspect too. Like, families are so involved, they're so supportive, and they're so great, but that relationship is long lasting as well. Like, it's not only the individual we support, it's like their family, it's their mom and dad who've lived here for ever and know everybody here. It's that relationship as well. Sure.
Yep. Well, you guys are doing some fantastic work. I mean, it's obviously well needed, and I mean it as a compliment. There's never enough, right? You guys can never do enough, to meet all the needs. So just having you guys do the work that you're already doing is fantastic.
Right.
Hey, part of Chamber Chat that we've done, you might have done your research. We like to talk about the people behind the business too. And I know you've got a big old team, but they're not sitting here in the car because it's not big enough. So you cool if we talk a little bit about you?
Sure. Yeah.
So, where are you from?
So, so I live in Springfield. I grew up in Springfield my entire life, and currently commute back and forth.
Yeah.
Springfield, yeah.
And obviously, because you care so much about Corvallis, you'll be, you know, you can.
We love Corvallis. Like Corvallis has been a destination spot. I've had friends, you know, back in my 20s.
Got the best college.
Yeah,
in the
they went to
state,
OSU. I've had 2 people that got their engineering degrees, and you know, so yeah, Corvallis is wonderful. The energy here, and
in the Civil War, obviously, you would root for one team or the other, right?
Obviously, well, people are calling me a platypus.
Oh, so. Okay, all right. We can roll with that.
But I am a duck fan.
All right.
I do like the Beavers.
It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. I don't know if you're allowed to do both. I don't think that's a thing.
I'll try at least.
All right, cool. Hey, so when we do this, like I said, I kind of will fire off some quick fire questions and see if you can, you know, what you come up with, and see I might have to justify some of your answers.
Okay.
Like why the heck you like the Ducks. But anyway, we can move on from that point. Yeah. Hey, coolest place you've ever been?
Coolest place I've ever been.
Do not say Springfield.
I would say the Boston Natural History Museum.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
That was why I had a trip over there doing some training, and I just walked in on a Wednesday, and I was getting ready to pay, and they're like, "Oh, it's free tonight," so I just got to walk around the Boston Natural History Museum.
Pretty sweet.
It's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. It's great.
That's great. How when they talk, is it natural history? I haven't been there. Natural history, like back dinosaur type stuff.
Exactly. I mean, all sorts of different stuff. They also had paintings and stuff like that, but it was like Egyptian stuff. It was fossils. Really? It was paintings. It was.
Where were you in Boston?
I was doing a counseling training there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually in Rhode Island, so I drove up to Boston just to check it out. I went to Fenway and got to eat at the restaurant at the end of. That was probably the second coolest place, is in Fenway, eating at the restaurant, looking off the field.
A baseball guy?
Yeah. Oh, not a baseball game, but just like it was like you know, during the day, it was just a restaurant open, so you could see.
Very cool.
Right on Fenway.
What about somewhere that is on your bucket list of places to visit or go, or countries, or anywhere in the world?
Oh, right? I want to go Europe. I want to take the train sort of around those countries.
The Euro-rail?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I would love to do that. I think there's like just such a big world out there, and I feel like, you know, we get so consumed with what's just in front of us. It's a good perspective to sort of see how other people are living in the world.
No
cultures.
kidding.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
no kidding.
Yeah.
So when you visit other places, obviously you're gonna be traveling and eating other food.
Yeah.
What's your death row meal look like?
Death row meal.
Yeah, it's your last meal.
It's going to be plain Jane. It's going to be steak with some potatoes with some barbecue sauce.
All right. Steak guy, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
that's okay.
But I like to put barbecue sauce on it. People always like roll their eyes at me if I put barbecue sauce.
How do you do this steak?
Oh, medium. Yeah, exactly. Some pink.
Are you would you be like, I gotta cook it myself, or like eat at a restaurant? That's preferred, right?
Yeah, restaurant preferred.
Okay,
absolutely.
Cool. Get somebody else to do the work.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's something you would love to eat. What's the worst thing you've ever eaten?
Oh, I was in college. I was at this Chinese.
This is already going to be a good story.
Yeah, exactly. I was at this
It
Chinese.
was a battery. What? No.
I was at this like Chinese sort of buffet sort of place, and they had 2 sort of sweet sauce and then a super hot sauce, like on fire, like level 10 sauce.
Okay.
And I thought it was sweet and sour, so I just doused it all over it.
Not good.
Ate it. It took like 2 bites for me to realize that was like the biggest mistake of my life. And that was like literally, I had to leave. All my friends were there. I had to leave. It was terrible.
Oh, really?
I always remember that.
Oh, it was that bad.
They put the 2 sauces right together.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
That's not okay.
No.
You could tell it was going to be a good story when you're like, it was in college and it was a Chinese sort of place.
And I still remember it.
I'm like, that's not a good ad.
It's made that impact on me for the rest of my life.
No kidding. Hey, you're on a desert island, right? Yep. You're only allowed to bring your iPod and one. Does anybody own an iPod, by the way? It's just a phone now, right? Nobody owns an actual iPod.
Phone,
yeah, I don't know. But one band, one style of music. What do you got?
One band, one style of music. I'm a '90s rap hip hop fan, so I'm gonna. I'm gonna go with sort of Tupac, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg.
Nice. Okay. All right. That's cool. Yeah. Have you ever been to a concert with them?
Oh, not with them. I've been in a concert with like Puff Daddy and like Notorious B.I.G.
Do you have pictures of yourself at that concert?
I don't, because we were just like out of high school kids. So no, we didn't.
Where was it?
I was in Moda Center, Portland.
Nice.
It was great.
What year was
Puff
that?
Daddy.
Holy smokes. Yeah, no kidding.
It must have been like 1997, 98, 99, somewhere in that range, because I was out of high school.
All right. And it was everything. Best concert ever.
Oh man, it was Method Man. It was all sorts of
That's super cool. Is that so are you a big music guy? Do you like listening to music?
I love all sorts of music. Yeah. But I just have an affinity for the rap and hip hop. I don't know. Just
we're not going to ask you to rap on the chamber chat because it's just
that'd be terrible.
That would be bad. We'd lose both our subscribers.
All 17, right?
to the chamber. Actually, you know what? Funny. Joey Speeton from Summit Restoration and Cleaning actually does rapping. He actually does rapping.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you're ever in a meeting with Summit, or hopefully, as Joey always says, you never want to meet him because it's always a bad thing, right? Because they do restoration like after flooding and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, he busted out some rapping on our Monday message. Actually, the last week.
Oh, really?
The links are in there. So yeah, click on that. Give your opinion on that.
I will. Yes. No, I can't rap though.
Yeah, not good. Hey, if you were to meet somebody in history, somebody who's dead, somebody way back in the day, who would it be? Or it doesn't have to be way back in the day, wherever. Tupac maybe, but not Tupac. You can't say that.
Tupac, yeah. I was thinking more like Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And the reason I was thinking of that just because of today's sort of strife and sort of what's happening in today's world. I would love to like just talk and be like, what do you think about today? What do you think about?
What do you think?
So that would be my. That's the first thing that came to mind.
I'm gonna go with disappointment. Would be what he'd come back with.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, that would be. I had a question we asked a while back about dinner party. Like if you could have two guests,
Absolutely.
On how that would look, and just like you said, the discourse that we have nowadays is it's not always great.
No,
it's not always good.
Exactly. Just to learn how to communicate again and not like just be mad at each other all the time.
Yeah, that would be that would be good. What about somebody who's still alive?
Ooh, someone who's still alive.
Your celebrity crush. Doesn't have to be a celebrity.
It'd have to be Tom Brady.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I know people are going to roll their eyes, but I love Tom Brady. I can't help it. I love
your bias.
His intensity.
The greatest ever?
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, how can you know? I don't follow football that much.
And he's 43. He's still doing it. That's what I respect, right? Like,
and the fact that he went to Tampa and did it.
He went to Tampa and all that stuff. I mean, I like the grind. That's right. Not even the individual, but like Tom Brady seems like he is. That my wife and I always joke about having a man crush on Tom Brady.
So here's the deal: is Tom Brady the Michael Jordan of football, or is Michael Jordan the Tom Brady of basketball?
That is a great question.
Wow, we asked the hard-hitting questions here on Chamber Chat.
I would have to say the latter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I think, so if you're stacking them up.
Yeah, I mean MJ is obviously one that I would love to meet, but
not too shabby.
Yeah, he's not too shabby. But Tom, I think he's just done it over a longer period of time.
What do you think drives him?
It's the drive to get better. Like I think it's self-driven, right? And so that's the thing that really like gets me when I meet those people who are self-driven, that aren't relying on external things. I mean, they know that there's external goals. But it's the drive to get them done, within oneself. That's what really gets me. And I see that with individuals, obviously, who are super successful, right? And so Tom Brady or MJ or even like rappers, even like they're intense about it. They're intentional about what they're doing.
Well, and you to your point, is like, and it doesn't have to be a Super Bowl champion or NBA. I mean, people in regular day life, right? Business leaders. Just how do you get up and how do you define your role, what you do, how you get better?
How do you set culture, right? How do you set the positivity? So of course it's so easy to be negative and down, and you want to acknowledge all that. But as a leader in any sort of business, you have to be you have to focus on what's going well, while not ignoring the things that are going bad.
Speak. That's a great segue. Speaking of, good rolling into our last question here.
Sure.
When you think of the last, let's say 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, I don't think it's unfair to say most people would say it's been pretty crappy.
Yep.
Right? Not been the greatest of years, but people always find silver linings.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So when you look back at the last year, to your point, it's easy to say, oh, this sucks, that was horrible, how'd you grow? How, not business-wise, personal? I mean, what do you take from it, in a positive?
Yeah, I think business-wise, it's coming into a different industry and sort of the relationships and stuff that I've had in the past with past places I've worked. And those are all the same. But personally, it's just resiliency. I think, dealing with kids, having to homeschool that entire year, and then, having to quarantine. I think for me personally, it's just resilience. Dealing with adversity. I know those things sound cliche, but
it's true.
It is true. Like we've never experienced this before, and I think like our family, like myself, we've done really well in dealing with it. Not always. Like there's times where I just want to like break down and be like, enough.
Yeah, that's it.
There's definitely emotions attached to it sometimes.
Break.
Yeah, and that's important too, right? Talking about any sort of business, it's like learning to take a break. In this industry is so hard because people are working their tails off. Yeah.
So which kind of point, I said last question, but kind of the same sort of thing. I mean, we use that cliche, hey, things will never be, work will never be the same again, school will never be the same again. I mean, will it?
Yeah.
Can it be? What do you think?
I think there's always going to be a little bit of this hanging on for the foreseeable future. I don't think things will ever. It's just my opinion. I don't think
it's good.
I think
I agree.
If everything was back to 100%, I think we'll get back to about 90. I think there's that 10% that always is going to be hanging on. People are going to be worried about. I mean, the trauma of all this. The last 2 years, that just doesn't go away because COVID gets better, right?
Right.
And so, as leaders and as home life, we're gonna have to manage those issues. So I don't think it's gonna be completely back to normal, but I think it's gonna be pretty darn close.
Well, and some of these issues and solutions that have come up, it's almost like I'm glad. Oh, easy. We nearly died again. You're almost like, I'm glad it happened. I mean, not glad that obviously, with the negativity, but it taught us to communicate differently, right? To see the other side of whatever this is. Right.
And all these like traditional, 8 to 5, all these workplaces stuff. I mean, all that needs to be reviewed.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree.
Depending on the individual and their work schedule. And I think that's a flexibility that leaders need to have is getting out of this where I think that's what's going to change, right? It's like this normal work
Do you
day.
need an office, right? Yeah, totally.
It's about output, not about how many hours you put into the office, right? And so, but that's going to be an ever moving target because it's going to be adjusted based on individuals, right?
Yeah,
and so,
sure.
And that's what, home life, like, obviously not everybody can do that. DSPs can't work from home. And so, that really sucks because we would love for them to have some time off. But for us at the admin office and stuff, like we just need to take care of ourselves. Yeah.
What I just heard was that everybody at Home Life is going to be able to work from home from now. That's not what it
I wish, I promise. Yeah.
Well, very cool, man. Well, it's been great riding with you. Super cool learning about Home Life and all the good stuff you do. Before we go, obviously, if people need to get a hold of you or Home Life, or give us all the deets.
Yeah, so a few things coming up. So we'll have our fundraisers into next year. We're going to have our appeal letter. It's going to be sent out in the middle of December. So if you're on that list, please think about donating toward our 2 new projects. If you want to get a hold of us, our address is 2068 Northwest Fillmore Avenue in Corvallis. You're welcome just to come in and say hello. You can also reach out, email. It's nathan.mart@homelifeinc.org.
Simple as that.
That's it.
Cool, man.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for spending time.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Chamber Chat.